Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. I want to get into a little bit of meal prep for my baby. He is 8 months old at the moment, and we have been feeding him purees and like yogurt with mashed up fruit, fruit inside of the little mesh thingamajiggies and whatnot. But I am noticing that he likes finger foods more, which spikes my anxiety, but it's what he likes more than the actual purees. So I did a little bit of research yesterday on what I can kind of make him to introduce him to more of these finger foods that are in a safe way and in the right portion sizes or the right sizes for him. That's my oven I have preheating. And I think, let me pull up my notes, but I have a little list of some stuff that I want to make for him today so that I have it meal prepped in my fridge. I don't always have the energy or the time if I have appointments or things going on to cook all of his meals, and I'm trying to do 2 meals a day. So I think meal prepping some of his foods would be really beneficial. So on the list for today are roasted sweet potato sticks. I want to pan fry some tofu sticks. I heard that that is also a really good source of protein, and my baby does have some allergies, so I can't give him eggs, chicken, oat, wheat, and there's some fish that he is allergic to, but that kind of puts me off from trying other fish because if he's allergic to one, he might be allergic to the other. I don't know. I have to set up an appointment with his ENT to redo his allergy testing and kind of see where we stand before his first year, but for now, that's where we are. So I am a little bit more picky with what I give him, but I want to try out the tofu sticks. I definitely want to make him some ground beef and make it kind of like saucy style, like with some tomato sauce and onion, garlic, things like that. But I want to puree the meat just a little bit more because he is still transitioning from purees into more textured foods. So I don't want to give him just plain ground beef right now. And I know a key was to not overcook it so that it's not really dry. So I'm gonna make him some of that. I have some sweet potato that I already boiled yesterday and I have it in the fridge. So I'm gonna steam some broccoli, mix it together with a little bit of gluten-free flour and make kind of like little finger-sized sweet potato broccoli tater tots. And I think that's it for now. I don't want to prep too many things and then they go bad in the fridge. The point is to have more foods to be able to give to my baby and introduce him to new foods, new textures, and kind of have things meal prepped so it's a little bit easier on my end. So I think I'm gonna get started with the sweet potato first since I have the oven going. You will probably see this outfit in another video because after this, I do want to film another video with making some kitchen staples. I have mentioned it before that sometimes I like to at least start a few videos on the same day. It just makes it easier for me to kind of keep up with things. So that is today. My mom is here watching my baby and it gives me a little bit of an opportunity to focus on filming. I have leftovers for my kids for dinner, so I don't have to worry about that. Dinner for me and my husband is gonna be super simple and quick, so I have some time today and I wanna get some videos started. Let me stop yapping. Let me grab the sweet potatoes so that I can peel them. I think I'm gonna add a little olive oil and cinnamon to it, and I need to look up the times for like how long I need to cook it. I think it was like 25-30 minutes or something like that. The point is for it to be mashable, like if you squish it between your fingers, it mashes very easily. So let's make that. I am a little bit nervous to introduce him to more foods, but I don't want to like stunt his development. And especially if he's super interested in eating these types of foods, I want to be able to offer that to him. So gonna get over my fears, make him some little snackies and then see what he likes. I'm gonna bring the camera down here just so that it is a little bit easier to show you guys. So I have this sweet potato. I think it's the right size or the perfect size for me to cut it in half and then make finger length like strips. So I'm gonna chop off the ends, peel this super quickly, and then cut up the little sticks. Okay, so I went ahead and washed and dried it. I also want to note that the oven is preheated to 400 degrees. So I'm thinking cutting it in half. And then I'll just throw some extras for me. And then I'm thinking about cutting it in half again so that we have pieces about this size. I didn't feel like taking out my baking sheet, so I just have like my pizza pan with some parchment paper. I'm gonna lay them on here and then add in the olive oil and a little bit of cinnamon. We tried mashed sweet potato this morning with cinnamon, and he seemed to really enjoy that. So. This is what it's looking like. I had thought to do olive oil, but I just noticed that I have some coconut oil, and I feel like this would taste better with the cinnamon. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, maybe like a teaspoon or so, and just heat it up really quickly so that I can drizzle it over, sprinkle with cinnamon, and then we're gonna pop this in the oven. So, I don't know, maybe about that much. It looks like this. I think about that much. That might be too much, honestly, but we're just gonna drizzle a little bit over it. I did put some gloves on so that I don't have to deal with getting my hands super greasy, but actually I'm gonna just shove them together. Oh, I ended up using all of it. All right, and then I have some Ceylon cinnamon, so I'm gonna sprinkle some of this on. And just like that, we have some cinnamon, coconut oil, sweet potato sticks. So I have that in the oven. I have a timer for 20 minutes. The next thing I'm gonna work on is the pan-fried tofu sticks. And I wanna do this so that I can reuse that pan to do the ground beef with the sauce and all that without having to wash so many dishes. So I'm gonna open this up. I'm not gonna make the entire packet because it is quite big, and I don't know if he's gonna like it because he's never had it before, but I do like tofu, so I will just set the other half aside so that I can make it for dinner. And this is the extra firm tofu. I believe firm would have been preferred, but as long as it's not silken tofu, that would be too soft and like custardy and would break apart. You want something that is easily mashable but still has a little bit of hold to it so that they can actually pick it up. And this soaked up these paper towels pretty quickly, so I'm gonna do it one more time. Also, normally I do my videos and I put music over it, put little captions and things like that. So this style is a little bit different. Let me know in the comments down below if you prefer this style when I'm doing, you know, cooking type videos. Okay, that should be good. I'm gonna cut half of it and put it to the side. I'll put it in a container and I'll cook that up today for myself. I think I'm gonna cut maybe like 1/2 inch thick. And then cut it right down the middle. Again, I want it to be kind of like finger length and width, so kind of like this. So I'm gonna bring you over to my stove. I'm going to pan fry these and then see what we end up with. I will definitely do the mash test and mash it between my fingers. And as long as it is easily mashable, then we are good to go. But I don't wanna like fry them so that they're extremely crispy on the outside. I'm just putting a teeny tiny bit of olive oil on the pan so that they don't stick. Turn on our stove to like a low medium, and then I'm gonna add just a tiny little bit. And I'm gonna use this to kind of spread the oil around. The goal isn't to fry it, it is just to keep it from sticking. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop these in here. He's never tried tofu before, so hopefully he likes it. If not, I will definitely make use of the rest of the tofu sticks because tofu really doesn't have a flavor. It takes on the flavor of whatever sauce you add onto it, so I can easily just use the rest of them and make my own sauce and eat it myself if he ends up not liking it. But I'm gonna give these a few minutes and then flip them and see where we're at. While the tofu is on the stove, I did want to show you guys some of the little snack things that I give him that are very easily dissolvable, and he seems to really like them. These are from Little Spoons. They're organic meltable baby puffs, and these are the kale apple curls. They look like little, what do you call those? Cheeto puffs. They look like Cheeto puffs. You can get 10 pieces for 30 calories, and the ingredients are pretty clean. It is just yellow cornmeal, sprouted white quinoa flour, sorghum flour, avocado oil, apple powder, kale powder, and it's all organic. So got him this, and I just recently picked these up, and he does like these as well. These are the organic meltables baby puffs, but these are like little wheels, and they are blueberry carrot wheels with ancient grains. So it looks like this. These are the two like snacky type foods that I give him that I feel comfortable with because they do dissolve super quickly, and I feel like that is what has been the transition into eating more textured foods. So I will continue giving him those here and there throughout the day. He's getting a lot more confident with them, a lot more comfortable. He will literally just like grab and pick it up himself. And I know like the sizing of the food gets smaller once he can, or once his pincer grasp is a little bit more fine-tuned. Right now, he kind of just like grabs and like, you know, it's not so much of a pinching. So those are the snacks that he eats. I hear the tofu kind of sizzling, so let's go check on that and see how that's looking. I'm gonna bring you back down here again. All right, let me zoom you guys in so that hopefully you can see a little better. There we go. But it's starting to get a little bit of color on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip the rest of them. That's what she's looking like. So I'm gonna do this to all sides, and then I'm gonna take them off and let them cool before packing them away. As for the veggies for the ground beef, I'm gonna do a little bit of white onion, some carrot, garlic, and for the sauce, I don't have tomato paste. I wish I would have thought of that, but I do have some Rao's marinara, and the ingredients are very clean. The only thing that it has is salt, and I do try to stay away from salt, but a tiny little bit I think should be fine. The other can of crushed tomatoes I have has like citric acid and some other questionable ingredients that I wasn't even aware of, so I think I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna dice this up and just use a little bit, maybe like about that much I think. I don't think I need to go too crazy with mincing this super fine, because I am going to take the ground beef and pulse it a little bit so that it isn't, or it's a little bit more like a mashed ground beef. So I think that works. I'm going to peel the carrot, and I think I'm going to shred this one and then dice it up instead of just like dicing it into small cubes. I think I'm going to do that. Another recipe I saw was boiled carrot sticks, and he really does like carrot, so that might be one that I try next week. All right, that's my oven beeping for the sweet potato sticks, so I'm gonna check that in a second. I'll save this and give it to the pups. I'll just cut it in half for them and give them something to munch on. And the very last thing are some garlic cloves. I'm thinking, that one's not good. I'm thinking maybe like 2 should be good. Cut the little ends off. That looks about good. I just took the little tofu sticks off of the pan, so let me bring you back over here. I think I'm gonna add a tiny little bit of olive oil. Oh, that was a lot. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook down for just a few minutes. Let me show you the tofu sticks, and then I'm gonna add some ground beef. I'm not gonna do the entire 1 pound package because I feel like that would be way too much for him, and I just wanna have some prepped for a few days. So I might do maybe half of the packet, but let me show you super quickly these tofu sticks. That's what they're looking like. Let me see, there was one of them, this one, that was just like a complete mess, but they're still kind of hot. But if you grab it, they easily mush. I mushed this one up because I wasn't planning on giving it to him, but I think that should be okay. The only thing that concerns me, let me see. Well, I think it should be okay. So I'll let these cool and then put them in a container. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So I added in the ground beef. It is 85/15, grass-fed, grass-finished. I only added 1/3 of the packet. So I'm gonna let this cook. I'm not too worried about getting all of the clumps out since I am going to puree it just a little bit, but let me show you the sweet potato sticks. I just took those out of the oven. This is what they're looking like. I'm not gonna do the mash test on this just yet because they're very hot, but if you poke the fork into it, they are very soft. I think those are good. I'm going to let them cool and then work on the next thing, which I think is the broccoli. I'm just going to steam it in the microwave. I think steaming it in the microwave would be the quickest. I do have like a little baby puree thingamajig, but I don't want to take it out right now. I'm just gonna cut up the broccoli just a small little bit, wash it really well, put it in a bowl with a little bit of water, and then put it in the microwave for a few minutes until it is super soft and tender, so that I can mash it with the sweet potato that I already have, like the boiled sweet potato, and then add in a little bit of the gluten-free flour and make those little fritters. So broccoli, let me go grab the broccoli. I'm thinking an amount like this, I just cut it off of the thing, but I'm thinking an amount like this is okay. I'm gonna wash it really well and then microwave it. And I think I'm gonna leave the stems because they should be soft enough that I can mash them really well. I think that'll work out just fine. I'll come back to you once I have it ready to mash up and turn into little fritters. Again, with not recording, I'm not sure where I left off, but I added in 2 tablespoons of the Rouse marinara. I hope I recorded the part about the extra fat. So if I didn't, what I did was I went ahead and drained all of the ground beef and collected all of that extra fat with a paper towel. I hadn't realized that it was 85-15. If I did, I wouldn't have added that olive oil in the beginning, but it was okay. I just drained it, soaked it up with a paper towel, and threw it out, and this is what I am left with. So this is completely cooked down. I added the 2 tablespoons of marinara, and now I'm going to get my little Vitamix attachment. I have a chopper attachment for my Vitamix immersion blender that my husband got me for my birthday. I'm gonna try that one out because I don't want to puree this into like a soft puree. I just want it to be a little bit more mashed than this right here. So let's see how that turns out. Okay, so this is the Vitamix blender, and it comes with the, hopefully you can see that, the immersion blender. It comes with a whisk as well, but it also comes with this attachment that I have never tried out before. So we'll be trying it out together. It locked. Does this suction? Let me remove this plastic piece because I made a sauce with the immersion blender. It was like an avocado cilantro sauce, and I forgot that this was on it. I made the sauce and I kept tasting it, and I'm like, why am I finding all these pieces of plastic? And then I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to take this off. So I had to throw the whole sauce, start over. So let me give this a rinse and then we'll come back. Okay, so let me add my ground beef to this. So first time trying it out, but I'm gonna plug it in. Let me see if I can show you. There we go. The cool thing with this is that you can select the power or the strength, I guess. So I'm gonna keep it at 1 for now. Put you back down here. And let's see what happens. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna bump it up to 2. That is so cool. So this is what we're working with right here. I think I'm gonna mash it just a little bit more, and then we should be good. Okay, perfect. So that is what it's looking like. I'm going to empty it out and put it in one of his little containers. I think I have one here. I'm gonna see how much I can fit in here and save a little bit for his dinner today. But hold on, let me see if I can show you an up close of this texture. Let me show you a close up of that. So it definitely has some texture, but I don't think my baby is at the point of just having little tiny pieces of the ground beef. I think this is perfect. I'm going to set this aside and save this for his dinner because I want to give him this with the sweet potato sticks and maybe a tofu stick. The tofu sticks I'm a little worried about. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because like the skin of it. You know what I mean? I'm talking to my husband. I don't know, maybe because it does mash like really, really well. Maybe it's just like the skin part of it, but I mean, it does break up. I don't know. We'll try it with caution, and if my alarms go off, then I'll just stop. So let me put this into a separate little bowl, and then I'm gonna wash everything up, clean up my mess, because I do wanna use this for my next video in prepping the big bag of garlic that I have. What else do I have to prep? Sweet potato broccoli fritters. That's the very last thing. So let me take care of my mess, and then we'll come back to put together those sweet potato broccoli fritters. Now that I think about it, I cooked up the little broccoli pieces, but I think I'm gonna use that chopper again because it did so well at at like mashing up the ground beef. So I think I'm gonna use it again, mash it, and then we'll come back because I know for sure I have gluten-free flour, but if I had like potato starch, I would prefer to use something like that, or rice flour. I think I have that as well. I don't think rice cereal would work with this. Probably not. But let me get to mashing the sweet potatoes and the broccoli, and then that is the very last thing to meal prep for him. So I'm excited to test this out with him later, and we shall see how it all goes. We'll see how it all goes. I am a little nervous, but it's okay. I'll be fine. So my husband he's over here with me. He's super excited that I am using all of the little nifty gadgets that he got me. Okay, there we go. So blade in, broccoli in. I don't think I need to add any liquid to it. I think we should be good. All right, I'm gonna put it to 3. I'm gonna scrape down the sides just because it has some of the larger chunks of broccoli that I wanted to kind of mash up, but let's do one more pulse and then we should be good. Okay, perfect. So that is the consistency. I'm gonna scoop it out into the bowl and see what kind of gluten-free flour I have on hand. Kind of like a mashed potato type of consistency. Okay, this is what she's looking like. I want to add a teaspoon or 2 of some sort of gluten-free flour. So let me raid my pantry and see what I have. We don't have like a light switch in here. We have this like battery powered one, and I need to charge it, but let me see what kind. My pantry's a little bit of a mess right now. Let me see what kind of gluten-free flour I can find here. Definitely not oat flour because he's allergic to oats. So we're just gonna stick with the actually, let me make sure this doesn't have oat flour in it. Garbanzo bean flour, potato starch, tapioca flour, whole grain sorghum flour, and faba bean flour. Perfect. So we're gonna use just a teaspoon or 2 of this to kind of help bind it a little bit better. And I think I'm gonna use coconut oil again to kind of pan fry them. Let me put you down and let me grab my little teaspoon. I got these from a trip to Texas and I love them so much. So let's do 1 teaspoon because this is not a big amount. So I think 1 to 2 teaspoons should be fine. Let's do 1 more teaspoon. All right, let's come back over here. I'm gonna grab the coconut oil and I'm gonna put this on medium. I just need a tiny little bit to coat the bottom of the pan. Be super careful, I don't wanna scrape my pan with the spoon because this pot set was expensive. Let me see, this is definitely like a wet kind of dough, but I'm going to try and shape them into like little logs, kind of like that. Yeah, that looks good. And let's plop one down. I think I might be able to get like 4, which is honestly perfect to test it out. Okay, I brought the camera up a little bit so that you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm gonna wash my hands and I will be right back. All right guys, so let me clean up my mess super quickly, get everything ready for my next video because it's gonna be kitchen staples because I'm out of like ketchup and I wanna mince this garlic and a few other things. So I need to get this all cleaned up and ready for that video. And I will come back to you guys in just a second. While these little fritters are cooking, I'm gonna clean up and then I'll show you everything at the end. All right guys, I finished up the little sweet potato broccoli fritters. They're so cute. They are very, very soft. I feel like once they cool, let me try to grab it. You can definitely, like I can give it to him and he can hold it, but they for sure will mash very easily. So these are the little sweet potato broccoli, I'm gonna call them tots. Sweet potato broccoli tots. Then over here, which I'm gonna add them to this clear glass container, which will be in the fridge, but we also have little tofu sticks and we also have the roasted sweet potato sticks. I think he's gonna like these the most. The flavor on them is honestly really good. Me and my husband like them. So got that done. And then we have this entire container of the ground beef, kind of like mash, I'm gonna say. And then I also have another container here. I think we should be set for about 2 to 3 days. I am going to try to consistently feed him 2 times a day and see where we go. He also, like I said before, eats the little spoon dissolvable Puffs. He also eats rice cereal, which is funny enough is one of his favorite things, and it's so bland, but he loves it. So I give him rice cereal with like formula, and then I also give him pouches. I do a lot of the, is this Serenity? I believe it's like the Serenity, like the grass-fed beef and kale and sweet potato. He has a turkey one to try out, which I'm gonna give it to him, but earlier in the day because he is allergic to chicken, and they're not the same, but just, you know what I mean? Just in case, we're gonna do that. So yeah, this will give me for a few days. But anyway, thank you so much for tagging along for this video. If you're still here and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And if you have any transitioning foods from purees into finger foods, more solid foods, please let me know in the comments down below. I am looking for more recipes. Even better if other moms have tried and tested it out with their own babies, that would be great. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye friends.